Sumi Smartco, born September 25th in 1941 in Port Harcourt of Nigerian Sierra Leonean parentage, is known for his versatility and range of interest. His love of music and fashion and his varied experience from newspaper photojournalism to being a father of two young men. Although he's proficient in different artistic fields, Sumi's early education stopped when he became an elementary school teacher at age 15. His visual sense was already in evidence when at 17, he started training as an architectural draftsman. Buildings he subsequently designed include the country home of Sierra Leone's late Prime Minister, Sir Albert Mugai. On Entertainment Weekly, the multi-talented man shares a lot about his inspiring life. Barber, a draftsman, photographer, you also taught yourself how to play the drums. Which would you say, is one side of you that you think you embrace more and you're more productive at, and you think that's where you're going to continue till you leave this earth?
Photography, of course. But when you say barb, it's as if I'm still doing it. Okay. It was something I had to do before the barbing. I was a teacher, though untrained, but I was a teacher at 15. I taught infants 1 and 2. But I then later became a draftsman after apprenticing myself to an architectural draftsman. I've always said that I was taught the rudiments of architecture, line drawing, lettering, the rest. I taught myself by reading and borrowing books from libraries. And at that time, there was a magazine called Architectural Digest. It is not the one you have now, which is actually about interior design. That one was serious architectural magazine for professional architects.
Sumi is also an accomplished soul music drummer and a jazz percussionist. He was a founding member of the 60s ensemble Soul Assembly. He taught himself to play tap drums in 1964 by watching then Fela Ransom Kuti and his mother Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. Sumi has performed or sat in with well-known jazz musicians such as the late alto saxophonist Julian Cannonball Alderley, organist Jimmy Smith, trumpeter Dizzy Gillespie, and the late multi-instrumentalist Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
I was watching Fela convert a high-life drummer to a jazz drummer when a drummer of his walked out on him, and he had a very important engagement that week. So he had to train this guy literally overnight. And if you're playing high life, the beat is different. It could be something that but if you're playing jazz, it's like this. Okay?
It's a different rhythm.
So while he wasn't just Fela, his mother, Mrs. Ransom Kuti, and Fela were actually instructing the guy. His name was John Bull Oko. And while they were teaching him at their 14A Agege Road, which later became known as Kalakuta Republic, I was drumming on my lap. And I want to point out here that the Fela I knew before he changed his family last name drank only Fanta and could not stand anybody who smoked cigarettes around him. Okay, that's the Fela that I knew, who was so serious about his music, and he continued to be serious about his music till he passed on.
He held his first solo exhibition at Stanford University, California in 1978. In December 1978, he was invited by the National Council of Arts and Culture to mount an exhibition at the National Arts Theatre, Lagos. Appointed managing editor of the Guardian newspaper group in 1988, Sumi resigned in 1989 to return to full-time photography. Sumi has held over 30 exhibitions in 5 continents, including exhibitions in Nigerian missions in Addis Ababa, Brasilia and London to promote the country's image as a cultural ambassador. His show in Belgrade, Yugoslavia was declared open on September 9, 1989 by President Ibrahim Babangida. then I'm also, interested in the fact that you've survived through several decades now. You've seen so much evolutions in terms of music, in terms of photography. How would you judge, what we have in the industry right now in terms of, the kind of music performers we have now? I know you know quite a number of them. How would you judge their content compared to what you experienced in the past?
Somebody who thought he was an expert said when I was asked the question, I should have said they're all playing rubbish. I said, no, they said they're playing rubbish. They are good because of lack of education. Most of the people who played music at that time couldn't read music. They couldn't read music. So they played Tony the Fela and other people. They used to write out what they call Tony Solfa, and they used to play do re mi fa sol la ti do. But with education, you now have people like Ayo Bankole. He's at home playing classical music. He's at home playing popular music. There are a lot of, there's a saxophonist I listened to recently, I've forgotten his name, but he's supposed to be very popular, more popular outside Nigeria than here. These people evolved. Look at Femi Kuti. Okay? Hey. Although he's Fela's son, but his own music is all different. Look, very, very, some of his songs are something else. The rhythm, very, very racy. Then look at his brother. Now, then there are other people, like if you want dance music, you hear Sugar Band, you are forced to dance because what did they do? They went back to bring back the oldies but goodies, as people say, to perform good old music, dance music. And even now, sometimes a foreign musician or singer might remake an old popular music, and the young people now will be dancing and say, oh, that's a new thing.
Sumi was appointed chronicler to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in 1991 by the Honorable Minister Ike Nwachukwu. In 1999, he was appointed chronicler to Cross River State by the Governor Donald Duke. His ambition is to set up a school of photography in Nigeria. The third book is out, which is very interesting, a collection of your works. And, I was speaking to somebody recently, and I was asking, he said he's one of your, fans that always waits for that column in the newspapers back in the day. So I asked him, what exactly was captivating about the works? And he said to himself, there was just something different about his works. Every time I would look out for it. He even went to the extent of clipping your works out and pasting them up in his room. That was, one person who actually said Sumi Smart School's photography was just outstanding. And from your perspective as the photographer itself, what, actually inspired you? How did it get going for you to be able to take, photography from an angle that, human beings to relate from it and relate to it and be, blown away?
No, just that I try to listen to my lectures, try to read, try to practice. You assimilate, you practice, then you want to share your work with the world, because that's what other top photographers or other photographers who were up there, what they did, and you want to emulate them. Like my hero, say the American photographer Ansel Adams, discovered something we call the zone system. The name of the game is to expose for shadows and you develop for highlights. Like if you were to judge from here, you see on the body of that bird, you have white.
Perfect white.
You have white. The black, this area, you have shades of gray. Even on the body of the bird. Now many, you have to, those are things you look for. Some people who don't know what photography is about, they accept anything, even when the photograph is flat. When it's flat, it's all gray and nothing in between. That's unacceptable.
Fantastic. And, you know, also looking at, you know, your journey, there must have been challenges, you know, going from phase to phase. And I do think you'd like to share some of those challenges with us.
No, well, it depends on what you want.
There's some times you must have said, can I keep on? Will I give up?
Oh, yes.
Yes, there must have been major trials.
No. See, I refuse to give up. I refuse to give up because first of all, I didn't want to go hungry and I wanted to succeed. I never at any time contemplated suicide. I never thought of giving up. You know, as they rightly say, when the going goes tough, the tough gets going. Just that unless you don't want to survive.
Parkour, it was absolutely coming over here today, and I'm sure you'll invite us for the major publishing and unveiling of the new book, which I can't wait to have a copy.
It's been popular.
Yeah, I mean, major unveiling.
Well, it's going to be launched
soon,
and then there will be an exhibition. They'll go on tour from Silverbird Galleria Lagos to Silverbird Abuja and then Silverbird Port Harcourt.